Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and as many of you might know at this point, that there was indeed a shooting at the White House Correspondents Association dinner last night, and some things just don't add up about it. I mean, we can be pretty used to, at this point, things not adding up with these stories, but the whole world is a stage, as I've said so many times before, and this is no different, my friends, as we see this image of Cole Tomas Allen, who's accused of starting shooting at a bunch of law enforcement on the ground during the White House Correspondents' dinner. We could see him Naruto run into the place here. Let's look at the security camera footage. That's a guy who either did not have much training at all, has never learned to infiltrate a place, or he was just instructed to do that.
Shall I post it as soon as
the suspect was detained, of course, and all hell broke loose. But there's a lot more to this than meets the eye, and I want to go into some of these examples today, the sleight of hand, if you will, and what this actually means going forward, because they're using this, of course, to push forward a lot of the usual typical surveillance tech kind of stuff, but also the narrative surrounding it. Something is just off about this, and we're going to get into that and more today. But before we do, I urge people to check those links below. Check out heavensharvest.com for long-term storable foods that are non-GMO. There's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, and books on how to get started, as well as freeze-dried food. If you use code WHAM, W-A-M, you will get 25% off on these items. This is, the most incredible sale we've ever been able to do with this, and you're saving a huge amount of money while also ensuring that you protect yourself and your family from the coming reset, which is indeed happening. There's no way around that. Now, of course, it's all about how we prepare and how we thrive in the face of it and live long after it all falls down. Of course, we have our link for Wave Watch 2.2 in the description as well. 1,250 frequencies. You'll save over $100 when you use code WHAM, W-A-M. And of course, there's no EMFs, there's no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth in this. It soothes your nerves, boosts your energy, enhances cellular function, and improves sleep. It's endorsed by people like Dr. Brian Ardis and Dr. Motley. I urge people to go and check that out in the description below. Wave Watch 2.2. Hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And as always, subscribe on Rumble and BitChute at World Alternative Media. Let's get into this, my friends. Now, as we see here posted on X, President Trump has released security footage and photos of the suspect from the White House Correspondents' dinner shooting, showing the moment he's pinned to the ground by law enforcement. The suspect, 31-year-old Cole Tomas Allen, is accused of breaching security with firearms and knives. Trump was safely evacuated. No guests seriously injured. Again, we see this guy Naruto run into the place. They say he assembled his guns in another room in the building that was not secure, and then ran in with this, which I don't know what he would be planning on getting out of that. But also, a lot of witnesses are saying he put his guns together in front of everyone, and that it was not a secure event, as they claim. Of course, people have said that they could use unverified email tickets to get in. So, obviously, some serious issues there. But it gets a lot stranger than all that. Of course, Nick Sortor claimed that the shooter is dead. He's not dead. He's very much alive. But what's interesting is the moments leading up to the shooting. This guy was on Joe Rogan. He's a magician who guessed, I believe, Joe Rogan's social security number. Pretty viral clip. And he's doing a sleight of hand with the president and Melania right as the shooting happens. Melania is absolutely shocked that he got something right. Is that it? Boom. That's when it happens. Video zooms out. J.D. Vance is taken out, and then Trump is brought out, which he then falls to the ground here. And the gunmen come up on the stage. Well, a lot of people continue just eating, and Kash Patel's in the audience and all that. Strange. It's a strange situation, and also interesting considering that the journalist that Trump is suing was coming up shortly after this moment, and of course, on top of that, Trump hasn't been to a White House Correspondents' Dinner in a long time. I think most notably, since Obama was president, and Obama made fun of him, leading to what they claim, and the legend is that that's what led to him running for president in the first place. Now, the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter took a train across the country to avoid detection, says Fox News. Look at what they are saying here. And I'm getting into much more interesting stuff right away. But alas, bear with me. I want to get through some of this as well, which is very interesting as well.
This guy clearly seemed like he wanted it. The reporting is that he wanted to get to Trump officials. Did that include the president as well? It would seem to make sense that if the reporting's accurate. I just talked to Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche about this, and he gave us that tidbit about the suspect traveling across the country by train.
Right.
So that we start to back that up, because that obviously takes planning. We've all talked about, you don't just get a room at the Washington Hilton the weekend at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You plan that months in advance to get a room. So if this is indeed the guy, the shooter that we think it is, he's been planning this for months, and then taking a train to travel undetected.
Right.
Did he have weapons with him? Because we all take the Acela a lot, or the Amtrak trains here. It's not the level. There aren't mags to get on those trains. It's not the same level.
No one's
of
checking
screening.
your luggage.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
How convenient is that, my friends? As I wrote on X at World Alt Media, go follow us there, by the way. Gee, I wonder if they're going to use this to enforce new surveillance. So predictable. Oh, the trains, which everyone is pushing us into at this point with the 50-minute city agenda and trying to get people to stop traveling and everything. So that also piles on top of the fuel crisis, the shortages, all that kind of stuff. Interesting. Now, this is a post where someone asked, is this real? It is real. I've confirmed this. Absolutely crazy. This is the shooter, Cole Allen, wearing an IDF shirt before his profile was removed on Instagram. An IDF shirt. Now, why on earth is he wearing an IDF shirt? It's almost the same one that Jeffrey Epstein was seen in the Epstein files wearing. I think it's just a shade off. Now, how does that work out? This guy who's a hardcore leftist who is anti-Trump and wants to, like, he says that the whole thing is about Epstein and he doesn't want to protect a rapist pedophile, as he says, and he's mentioned his concerns over the Israeli thing and everything, but he's wearing an IDF shirt. Why does this keep happening? Anyone out there? Why does this keep happening? I mean, every single time. Every single time, as they say. It has been confirmed, and it was shown to have been pulled from his Instagram right before it was taken down. Also interesting on all this. Okay, according to Cole Tomas Allen's LinkedIn, he interned at NASA in 2014. In 2014, NASA published a paper, and Henry Martinez was an author. An ex-username named Henry Martinez, made in 2023, made only a single post on December 21st, 2023. The post simply said, Cole Allen. And we could see his IDF, slip of the tongue there. We could see his NASA internship from LinkedIn there. And this is the original post. As I wrote on X, a strange post from 2023. Only post is simply the name Cole Allen, the alleged shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Yes, this is real. and so he's interning at the same time at NASA in 2014 with a guy named Henry Martinez. And a username named Henry Martinez just makes a post in 2023 just called Cole Allen. Was more supposed to happen? The thing is, there's no like big photo op out of this. Like with the Butler, Pennsylvania alleged shooting, there was a big photo op out of this, which just seems super fake. The Secret Service moving people aside and photographers in the right position right before the shooting. And then we have this. This is Henry Martinez again, and just give me a moment. My new phone won't stop making noises. There we go. So this is Henry Martinez post, and the background of the post is this interesting image from a thing called Time Machine. It's from a website called Time Machine. Now let's see what happens when we use a few effects on this image from 2023. Now, I say this in jest, but look, I mean, it does seem like it has very similar textures to the image of Trump in Pennsylvania. What's with that? What's with that, guys? Seriously. Though, I guess at the same time, we could see whatever we want to see in something. But it just, I don't know. I saw that, and I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. So again, this background photo of Henry Martinez from a post from a guy who just posted, Cole Allen, who interned at NASA, as NASA published a paper called, which Henry Martinez was an author of, as Cole Allen is wearing an IDF shirt on his Instagram. What is with that? Anyone? Also, every single time, like I said before, Google Trends. Here we have Google Trends again. Cole Tomas Allen, days before anything happened, searched in Israel many, many times. I'm pretty sure the Israeli government is running the U.S. government at this point, and it's pretty obvious. And at that, they are also running these PSYOP campaigns. The whole world is a stage, my friends. Like, what is with that? Every single time. Thomas Matthew Crooks, same thing. With the Charlie Kirk shooting, same thing. The manifesto released by the White House Correspondents Dinner gunman Cole Allen was obtained by the New York Post. He's a 31-year-old California teacher who described himself as half black, half white, sent the 1,052-word document to family 10 minutes before the attack, targeted Trump administration officials by rank, explicitly excluded Kash Patel. That's weird. used buckshot deliberately to minimize collateral casualties, described Secret Service security as actually insane, and said he walked in with multiple weapons undetected. It says, and I quote, "If I was an Iranian agent instead of an American citizen, I could have brought a Madus in here and no one would have noticed." And in the manifesto, "It's awful. I want to throw up. Can't really recommend it. Stay in school, kids." Now, most of the talking points were about, I don't want to support this, this rapist, pedophile, all that kind of stuff. A lot of talking points that you hear from one side or the other. But here's the thing. Of course, initially they're going to say, oh, well, it's Iran. It's Iran doing this. And he himself says he wasn't. But alas, I have to say, this IDF t-shirt thing or this IDF sweater thing, again, these searches in places like Israel of the guy from the Google Trends. I mean, seriously, what is one to surmise from this when this keeps happening? How do they always know ahead of time? Dancing Israelis? How do they always know ahead of time? Here's a video of J.D. Vance getting taken out of the place by security before Trump. So a lot of people are asking, is this regular protocol to see, like, the vice president get taken out before the president? All right. Now, got to give him props for standing up so fast after falling. He's like 80. But this also leads to another thing that I find rather strange. It's the White House ballroom. One of the first things Trump said after this shooting was how this is all the more reason to build the White House ballroom. And in unison, we see basically everyone in conservative media and mega media is saying the same thing. This is why President Trump needs to build a White House ballroom. This is why we need Trump's ballroom. Thank God President Trump is building a ballroom at the White House. Jack Posobiec, Andrew Colvett, Libs of TikTok, and Wokeness, Wall Street Mav, Meghan McCain, Tara Bull, Dustin Grage, we have Cernovich, we have Tom Fitton, Geiger Capital, Buzz Patterson, Sean Farash, Nick Adams, Randy Fine, that piece of shit, Rillen Hollyhand. Again, all of them saying the exact same thing. We need a ballroom. Well, the ballroom, most of the construction going through is on an underground system, a secure underground system, not the ballroom itself. As Scott McFarlane says, let's not let the White House ballroom argument get twisted. Judge has permitted Trump team to continue building underground security portion of project. It is the above ground ornate showy part that's under litigation. Again, because that is just to cover up what's literally underground. It's covering up a massive underground system, much like I assume we would be seeing in something like the Denver International Airport. So to me, this seems pretty cut and dry that, it's another example of pushing the security apparatus, pushing the security agenda, the surveillance agenda, as he pushes for the release of, or the pushing forward of FISA 702, which is what people use to spy on him, by the way, Trump. He's pushing for this, for a massive surveillance system, a warrantless arrest system, security cameras with facial recognition on every interstate, which is already being pushed forward and already being implemented. 5 years of social media history to enter the country, restrictions on air travel, and of course now with this, maybe we should be looking at the trains a bit more because some guy got from point A to point B and it was suspicious and we should have caught it, because this is what they've been using. Because one of the things that Trump is doing with his new surveillance protocol is exactly that. He said himself, we want cameras everywhere that can read people's faces, that can read people's license plates, find where they're going regularly, and if they're going somewhere different than usual, like if they take another road than usual, we want to be able to track and trace them and ensure that they aren't dangerous. And they're talking about pre-crime data and using AI to determine if someone is going to commit a crime in the future. Palantir Technology has this. The same guys that are drone bombing children indiscriminately by AI drones in Palestine. So this to me just seems like a cut and dry example of a PSYOP to bring in security measures. Obviously 9/11 was one of those. Obviously this is nothing like 9/11, but alas, the world's a stage, the theatrics always lead to this one thing after another. And it always just works out so well that this, half black, half white guy who pushes Democrat talking points, but also rightly calls out Trump for talking about, for not doing anything about Epstein, but then also is wearing an IDF shirt while criticizing Israel, while saying I'm not an Iranian agent, while Israeli officials are trying to say that he is an Iranian agent. I mean, it's just the same old thing over and over again. When they claimed that Thomas Michael Crooks, I believe that was what his name was, tried to kill Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, where they got that perfect photo op, and simultaneously with that, they claimed that he worked with Iran, and that all of that was just a big push by Iran to go to war with the United States. Like, why would Iran want to do that? They haven't attacked anyone in 200 years. The United States has attacked over 100 countries in the last 100 years, has actually used nuclear weapons, if you believe in those, twice, and they go after Iran. Why would Iran do that? It's like shooting themselves in the foot. Same thing as the idea of Assad gassing his own children 3 days after Rex Tillerson claimed that they were no longer going after Bashar al-Assad and they were going to work with the Syrian government. Similar things we saw with Saddam Hussein, similar things we saw with Gaddafi. Point is, none of this makes any sense. There's no way that Iran was involved, and they will try to frame it that way. That's when Netanyahu said, it was Iran, and he had no evidence of that, just like he had no evidence of weapons of mass destruction in 2002 when he spoke in front of Congress, or the nuclear weapons that Iran allegedly had. But, apparently they have all this information that it was Iran. This guy who wears an IDF t-shirt now will likely be called the same thing by them. And Trump himself said he doesn't think it was an Iranian agent, but alas, he did say a year ago that if anything ever happens to him, it's Iran, and therefore we need to blow up Iran sky high, which is a total Israeli talking point, and basically allowing Israel to say, hey, when we have enough of him and we can create this civil war scenario that's all manufactured by killing Trump, then we'll bring in J.D. Vance, the Palantir guy, and we will enforce this new restriction that Trump said, hey, if anything happens to me, you have to go after Iran. That's what he said in a press conference in the Oval Office last year. So it's already setting things up for that inevitability. And Trump said himself that he was honored to have been there when the shooting went off. Dana White is saying that it was a great time and he really enjoyed it. The Secret Service officer who got shot in a bulletproof vest, so he probably has a cracked rib or something, but he's going to be okay. But the whole thing just seems very strange. How did they not unload a clip on this guy? How did this guy get in with all this? How was it allowed to happen? Why would you, after all this planning, just run a Naruto run into the place? Like, you're going to get shot immediately. How are you planning on getting away with any of that? It's absurd. And, of course, there wasn't a photo op involved, which makes you think, okay, maybe this wasn't planned. However, everything has been, and all these things that I just showed to you today seem to add to that point. It seem to point to the idea that every single thing that we ever see is theatrics. So it's up to everyone watching to decide what they think of this and the Charlie Kirk shooting and the Butler, Pennsylvania attack and the guy on the golf course and, you know, all these claims that are perpetuated regularly. I mean, it's all a stage. And alas, the end goal is that surveillance state, the restriction of your food, destruction of the supply chain, rations, digital IDs, social credit, 15-minute cities, CBDCs, or if not a central bank digital currency, X money, which Elon Musk says will control everything and will be the source of all payments for all systems, attached to XAI and X a social media network, social credit. XAI owns X, and XAI has Pentagon contracts, and it's a great reset, my friends. If people want to know what this all leads to, every single thing, who benefits, it all leads to the surveillance state and the great reset. So I wanted to throw that out there for everyone today, my friends. And as always, as I close this off, be vigilant and also get prepared in every way you can. Code WHAM, W-A-M, will get you 25% off at heavensharvest.com. Very important going forward. For long-term storable food that's non-GMO, there's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, books on how to get started, freeze-dried food. This is a no-brainer, my friends, in the face of everything. We need to be prepared because they depend on the dependence of the masses. So we must be independent. That is how we truly rebel and reject this system. Also, get outside of the banking system as much as you can. firstnationalbullion.com/schedule-consult/ has to be that exact link, and not a shortened version. It has to be the exact link. It's in the description. And there you can avoid the digital system. You can avoid the banking system, which is bankrupt. You could buy physical gold, silver, platinum, or palladium, hold it in your hands, put it in a vault, or put it in an IRA outside of the traditional IRA system. Schedule an appointment for a free consultation with Mark Gonzalez and get a complimentary investors package there. Mark's a good friend of ours. We do many videos with him. I'm about to be doing some more right away. Let him know in the comments that you found him at World Alternative Media or WHAM, W-A-M. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, WaveWatch 2.2 well, you can. It's already out there. I guess you don't have to pre-order. I keep thinking about the old saying here, but it has 1,250 frequencies, and it's super cool. It's on your wrist. It's like a Rife machine on your wrist. No Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no EMFs. If you use code WHAM, W-A-M, you will get over $100 off. Helps you soothe your nerves, boost energy, enhance cellular function, improve sleep. And, of course, it's endorsed by people like Dr. Brian Ardis and Dr. Motley. Go and check that out in the description below. Also, check out our new affiliate, which we're super excited for, with Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Medicamentum Authentica Shilajit, which is absolutely amazing for both physical, cognitive, and sexual benefits all across the board. The studies on this are absolutely incredible. It's ethically sourced and harvested at 16,000 plus feet in the Himalayas, rigorously tested for all the toxic stuff, heavy metals, fillers, etc., which you won't find in most cases with Shilajit. And, of course, with this, you'll get a bonus pre-priming protocol to accelerate and amplify your results. 35-day try it, feel it, love it guarantee. Use code WHAM10, W-A-M-10, and you will get 10% off on your order. So go and check that out in the description today. Of course, we have vni.life/WHAM, W-A-M. If you use code WHAM15 there, you'll get a bunch of money off on these amazing super supplements. And as always, make sure to go and find us at upscrolled at World Alt Media, a new censorship-free social media network. As we close this off, once again, I want to thank everyone who has helped us recently over at GoGetFunding.com and Patreon and Subscribestar. You guys, without you, we could not survive. This campaign is many years old at this point, but you guys lately have really been able to step up and keep us alive. We have gone through moving. We have lost everything. My laptop broke. My phone broke on the same day. I mean, I got a television and that broke. It was a dud. I got a cord with my new laptop. That was a dud. I just got a new one 2 days ago, so I could start making videos again. My internet doesn't work. Everything's going down. My portable charger's broke. I mean, it's absolute insanity, my friends. My bank got shut down. My Amazon got shut down, so I couldn't order new stuff. It's all happening at once. I have to feel like as though I'm being targeted here, but all the same, you guys have made it so that we can continue. Thank you to everyone who's donated. GoGetFunding.com, Patreon, Subscribestar. $4.99 a month or more will get you exclusive content on those platforms, including private video messages in response to any questions you might have with us or for us. Of course, we have a PayPal address, ancientwonderstelevision@gmail.com. We have a Bitcoin address that you could check out on the screen scan here or check out in the description below, of course, in text form. We have a Cointree link with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you could donate in if you please, including privacy coins, so we appreciate that as well. And, of course, we have a Teespring store with a bunch of merchandise. So go and check out all of that in the description of the video. And, of course, find us on Telegram, Band.video, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and Brighteon at World Alternative Media. We're on Hive, Steemit, and Vigilante.tv at Josh Sigurdson. And the bad guys, TikTok and Instagram, World Alternative Media. And, of course, all the major podcast platforms except for Spotify where we're banned. Hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And as always, my friends, live freely, live by example. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.